So we've been following Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which is the upcoming Avatar game made by Ubisoft, the guys behind Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Far Cry, all of those games. And we've been following it for a while. However, there's been like very, very little news about it. We still don't really know what the game looks like. We still don't really know how the game runs. We've heard some rumblings about design choices and things that they're doing or not doing. There's just a bunch of conflicting information. What we've seen are a couple of like trailers like this one. Boop, 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 boop. If I can press all the buttons in time. There's like this trailer, which is powered by the engine, but this isn't running in like real time. So this is basically just a series of cinematics and it looks good. I mean, there's quality animations. The one thing I will say is that the later section with the explosions look like absolute ass. And I don't think I'm the only one that thinks these explosions look terrible. Look at this, right? Like boom, like that does not look to be on par with how the rest of this looks. Like the rest of it looks really good. That explosion looked terrible, but they've delayed this game. This was supposed to release like back in the winter. And I've told you guys, when I get something wrong, I will tell you. I am quoted as saying, I don't think that they could possibly delay Avatar Frontiers of Pandora out of 2022 because they have the big movie coming. I was like, surely they're going to launch it unless it's super, super broken. They're going to launch it even if it's a little buggy because they just need to get it out with the movie. Because why not, maximize all of that and ride that all the way to the bank. And then they delayed it. So they did. So I got that one super wrong. And that also worries me because I still agree with the sentiment. Like the fact that they delayed it out of the movie's release tells me that it must have been in a really bad spot for them not to want to put it out. Because Ubisoft, as we know, isn't that afraid of putting out kind of crappy games in order to quickly get a paycheck. So that worries me a little bit, that gets me a little sussy, as it were. But apparently there is new information and there are alleged leaks. Now, what interests me about this is that these have all been struck by the copyright holder. In other words, Ubisoft, which to me would suggest that these are legitimate, or at least there's reason to believe that these are legitimate, because why else would they be striking it? I mean, if Ubisoft is going and striking this stuff, they're clearly worried about it. Like if it was totally fake, they'd probably just come out and say, I think nope, this is fake. But they're not doing that. They're striking it. So what did they actually see? Well, the news comes from prominent Ubisoft leaker Script Leaks R6, who created a Twitter thread filled with details that have appeared to be taken from the game's product sheet. The game will center around a Na'vi child who was abducted by the RDA and trained to serve them in their conquest of Pandora. The plot largely seems like a copy and paste of the first movie, as it focuses on the unnamed protagonist reconnecting with their heritage and clans to protect Pandora. Here's what some of the alleged game details state. Become Na'vi. Harness your incredible strength and agility while customizing your character, crafting new gear, and upgrading skills and weapons to fit your playstyle. Okay, sounds kind of like Far Cry, but okay. Master multiple combat styles. Fight off the dangers of Pandora as you embrace the precision of traditional Na'vi weapons, including your bow and spear thrower, or leverage your human training with more destructive weapons, such as assault rifles and shotguns. Interesting. Okay, I'm down for that. Kind of the choice between the more traditional weapons and modern high-tech weapons. I like that. Soar the skies. Capture and bond with your personal banshee, a large dragon-like winged predator that will give you an edge in aerial combat and that can be used for traveling longer distances. Okay, I like that. A mount. Explore a world of wonder and danger. Unfold the epic wonders of the Western frontier, a never-before-seen continent of Pandora. Journey through beautiful yet unpredictable open-world regions where your guard can lead, where lowering your guard can lead to deadly mistakes. Interesting. He goes on to say Avatar Frontiers of Pandora will reportedly offer multiple combat styles and give players the choice to use traditional Na'vi weapons like spears or bows, or embrace the brutal training methods and weapons of the RDA, which include shotguns and assault rifles, as we already heard. Skill trees and customization will also factor into the game as players upgrade their weapons, characters, and craft new materials. As seen in the first look trailer last year, players will be able to navigate the world of Pandora with the help of the Banshee, which can also be used in aerial combat. While there aren't too many details about the game's open world, the leak does offer a tease of the sense of scope the game will offer. The new continent being introduced in Frontiers of Pandora will offer multiple regions for players to explore, which will be filled with stunning visuals and unique threats and wildlife of Pandora. Given the fact that the information from the leak seems to have been taken from a press release, it's a fair assumption that Ubisoft will be offering a new look at Frontiers of Pandora in the near future. The game was first announced in 2017 and aimed to release in the 2022 to 23 fiscal year. But since it's been pushed back to the 23 to 24 fiscal year release window, it indicates the game will be released between April of 23 and March of 24. What I think probably happened, this guy, he's like a data miner. So he's not like somebody leaking within the company. He's a data miner. So I'm guessing he was able to find a press release buried somewhere in some files, and then he copied all this stuff out, because this does look like, you know, bullet pointed straight from a press release. So I think that that's probably the case. As for what this looks like, I mean, I hope it's good. I mean, of course I hope it's good. I want more good games. Like, don't get me wrong. I hope that they figure this out. But Ubisoft hasn't instilled a bunch of confidence. Now, I had that conspiracy theory tied to Assassin's Creed Mirage, not
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
But again, it'll never get old. But if that conspiracy theory is true, and if it is the case, hypothetically, that Ubisoft delayed Assassin's Creed Mirage to cut out NFT systems and to polish, that could indicate a new approach for them where they are prioritizing refinement and quality, and they're cutting out the NFT stuff because it went so horribly with Breakpoint. Maybe that's not what they're doing. Maybe they're delaying it to put more NFTs in. Who knows? Okay, that I wouldn't put it past Ubisoft at all. It could go either way. I would like to hope that they are taking their time to polish, refine, and then get more like NFT stuff stripped out. But we also know Ubisoft is very desperate, and everybody who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about seems to think NFTs are some magical panacea to companies' woes, and that you can just take a little bit of NFT potion in your game and all of a sudden you'll be a billionaire. So hopefully that's not what's happening. But from what we've seen, the cinematic trailer looks pretty good, honestly. I think this is interesting. Like, I find it compelling. People have been upset that oh yeah, they struck all of this. You guys remember in that, oh, I wonder if I can find it. In my last video on the conspiracy theory of AC Mirage, I said that I thought there were reasons to believe in, possibly reasons like not to believe it, but I pulled up this guy's Twitter page and he had the pictures that now are copyright struck. I wonder. It's like this. This was that video. And you can see I'm like scrolling through it. So like this is one thing that he leaked that now has been copyright claimed. It looks like Ubisoft found out about him and is just striking everything. Yeah, this was it. Hold on. This. So they copyright struck this image, which I think is real. And then this image down here. I think I pull it up in a second. Yeah, this one. Which also looks pretty real, if I'm being honest. People have been saying it looks like Far Cry. I mean, there's only so many ways you can make like a first-person shooter look. Like, let's be honest. I could look at Call of Duty and be like, oh, it looks like Far Cry. You know, like, looks like Warzone. Like, okay, yeah, it's a first-person shooter. What do you want from me? I mean, I think it looks pretty. It looks interesting. I hope that it's good. And honestly, if it's a good way of them shaking up the formula, I'm down. I'm down. But we just don't know. We don't know. As of right now, I think it's interesting. It could be interesting at least. But we're just going to have to wait and see.
took my thing.